Hi there, welcome to day 285 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Horne-Ellstrom here, sip of coffee. We are talking about physical health and well-being this whole month, and today's topic is one of my favorite, and I'm going to share a tool and a trick I learned from my late father. I call it Einer's trick about getting enough hydration. Hydration and water, we're made of 90% or some such number. I'm not a doctor or I don't play one on TV or the internet, but our bodies are composed predominantly of water, H2O. And a while back, I had a sudden cardiac arrest because I wasn't drinking anything but coffee and Diet Pop. And I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating right. I was under super duper pressure and stress. But all of that led me on a journey after I woke up from the coma to discover what I needed to do, because I knew I needed to make massive lifestyle changes if I still wanted to be here talking to you today. And I am. And so I've obviously made those massive lifestyle changes. And one of those was consuming enough water, H2O. We as human beings, nowadays especially, are actually really, really bad about getting enough hydration and getting enough water. If we don't have enough water, our cells are not able to work properly. They're not hydrated. Our skin gets dry and wrinkly. That also happens with age. But we want to make sure we're consuming enough water. And after my sudden cardiac arrest, my doctors, of course, said, you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Now, I should have known this because I had had kidney surgery because I had kidney stones probably a couple decades earlier, not quite 2 decades, but almost 20 years earlier. And so I usually drank a ton of water, at least for a while following that. For about 10 years after that, I always drank a ton of water. I would drink at least a gallon a day. And then I kind of lost the habit when I was raising my kids and life got busy. Just sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. I know, not an option, right? But I did. And I had a sudden cardiac arrest. And after that, my dad shared with me what he had done after his open heart surgery. He needed to also consume more water, and he was never a water drinker either, unless he was out working in the yard or something. And so, working at 3M his entire career, he of course had a post-it note trick for me. And he said, listen, all you have to do is put a post-it note and a glass of water in somewhere that you walk by often during your day, throughout your day. If you're at work, you have a glass of water on your desk all the time and a post-it note on it or by it. If you work from home, again, in your office or your kitchen or your laundry or whatever you do, whatever your lifestyle, anybody can use this trick and tool, right? You get a Post-it note. It doesn't have to be a Post-it brand, but I recommend them because I like 3M. And you put on it H2O and the date if you want. You don't even have to, because I usually would throw mine away. I saved them for about the first 6 months, and then once it was a habit, I just started tossing them in the garbage at the end of each day. Or once I got my 8 glasses of water. So now you can see, this is today's. I've already got a glass of water. I've already drunken one of these, and I'm almost done with my second one. And so it becomes really, really easy to consume enough water throughout your day. And if you can tell if you are or not, if you don't get to 8, then that's probably not enough for most of us adults. If you do, if you get more than 8, if you get too much, you'll know, because you're going to be up at night going to the ladies' room or the men's room or whatever you go to, or your bathroom. So that's our strategy for today. So in the comments below, are you going to try this tool, or do you already get plenty of water? Share so we can learn from one another. Share maybe how having enough water or not having enough water has impacted you in your life, because that's what helps is if we all learn from one another. All right. Any questions about this? Hit me up and ask. I think it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy tool, not very time consuming. It's a pretty easy challenge for today. And it will have a huge impact on your physical health and well-being. I can almost say I guarantee that, but depends. If you've already been a water drinker, you probably won't notice much change. All right. Have a great day. I'm, of course, here if you need anything. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.